Hello, and welcome to the Supporting Teaching and Learning Programme Orientation. This is designed for both support staff and leaders in schools who would like to know more about the STL programme, how it has been developed, the pathways it offers, and how this programme can support and sustain improvements in teaching and learning. My name is Bethany Carrington, and I will be taking you through the session today. This is our route map for the session today. We will begin by developing your understanding of the structure of the Supporting Teaching and Learning programme. We will then explore roles of a mentor in implementation or explore an alternative pathway for the programme. And finally, we will agree on your specific responsibilities to ensure successful implementation within your setting. Here is an outline of the full structure of the Supporting Teaching and Learning programme. The programme consists of 10 modules covering key areas such as scaffolding, behaviour, interventions and communication. Each module follows the I do, we do, you do model. The I do phase involves webinar delivery by us here at ATA. The we do phase involves optional mentor support, and the you do phase involves independent application and implementation. If you choose the pathway with mentor support, your role as a mentor is essential in supporting the we do phase, ensuring staff translate learning into practice. The Supporting Teaching and Learning programme is carefully designed to support sustained professional development. The structure ensures that staff receive training, apply their learning with optional mentor support, and embed changes into their daily practice. We will now introduce the two pathways available for the Supporting Teaching and Learning programme. Before we dive in, I want to emphasise that both routes are genuinely valuable and offer over 20 hours of continuous professional development for support staff. They're simply designed to suit different contexts and schools, and individuals can decide what works best for them and their staff. Pathway 1, the Mentored programme. Pathway 1 is the Mentored programme. Here, each member of support staff or a small group is paired with a dedicated mentor. Staff work through the 10 online modules, and after each module, they meet with their mentor to complete what we call the We Do implementation activities. This gives you flexibility to fit the CPD sessions within your own schedules. What works best is one module a month with one mentor meeting a month. These activities are designed to bridge the gap between theory and practice. They take what has been learned online and apply it directly in a real school context with guided support. Research is very clear on this. When learning is supported by coaching or mentoring, engagement is higher, retention is stronger, and crucially, the impact on pupils is greater. This pathway is our recommendation where capacity allows, because the evidence base behind it is compelling. Pathway 2, the Independent Programme. Staff complete all 10 modules online and work through the implementation activities independently. This is still a highly effective programme. It delivers over 20 hours of certified CPD and has been carefully designed to be meaningful and rigorous without mentor support. This pathway suits contexts where dedicated mentoring time isn't currently available, where staff prefer self-directed learning, or where schools want to pilot the programme before rolling out the full mentored model. Both pathways lead to the same professional development outcome. The key difference is the level of guided support alongside it. So, in summary, Pathway 1 offers the richest experience with full mentor guidance. Pathway 2 provides flexibility and independence with a strong standalone programme. We'd encourage you to think about what your staff need right now, and remember, schools can also run both pathways simultaneously for different staff groups. We're going to take a brief look at the EEF Guide to Implementation model. The Education Endowment Foundation, or the EEF, is an independent charity set up to improve educational outcomes. They fund and evaluate research to find out what works in education and provide schools with practical, evidence-based guidance and tools, like the Teaching and Learning Toolkit, to support effective teaching and learning. Let's look at the explore, prepare, deliver and sustain cycle on the right-hand side. In the centre, the blue part, there are particular behaviours which need to be adopted in order for implementation of CPD to be maximised. We need to cultivate these behaviours amongst our support staff together. This is a partnership. Us at ATA are responsible for the explore and prepare phases. You will facilitate the delivery within your schools, and you will help sustain the momentum of this CPD programme amongst your staff. Let's look at the contextual factors. What is being implemented? We have ensured that the programme is evidence-informed in terms of both content and how it is delivered. You will have considered if this programme is feasible to implement in your schools. Have the staff got designated time, the facilities and capacity to do it effectively? Systems and structures. You need to ensure the systems and structures are in place in your school. Do the support staff have devices to take part in the online sessions? Are mentors, if using them, aware of their role? What will the timetable look like for the We Do and the You Do parts of the programme? People who enable change. The people who enable this change of practice at your schools will most likely be you as mentors or senior leaders. However, teachers and other staff need to be aware that support staff are undergoing this training to support them too. To further iterate the structure of this programme, let's explore each segment one by one. The I Do is a webinar, like the one you are taking part in today. It's led by a member of the ATA team, and this session aims to provide actionable hints, tips and practical support in key aspects of your role. Up next is the We Do aspect, and this is optional, as we have mentioned before. If you are using this pathway, this will take place in school with the support of your in-school mentor. This might be a class teacher you work alongside or your line manager. If you are unsure if you have a mentor or not, please reach out to a member of your school team to confirm and clarify this. If you do not have a mentor, you can take part in the We Do implementation activities independently. The final element is the You Do aspect. Here you will be provided with reflective questions, follow-up activities and research materials to support your learning. These are provided for your own personal review and reflection. All of the We Do, the You Do and the I Do support and activities are housed on our Aldar Training Academy online training platform. I will now give you a brief orientation of the ATA online training platform. On the left-hand side, there is a module menu. Here, participants can see how much of the module they have completed so far in the turquoise circle, and they can navigate to the follow-up tasks, feedback survey and certificate. The discussion section is housed under the video or the task. Many tasks require participants to use the discussion feature to show their engagement in the module. They must always click on Complete and Continue to move on. They're unable to skip any content and must complete all steps before moving on. The tasks on the LMS are easy to access and navigate. The We Do tasks are clearly outlined and can be completed with optional mentor support and guidance. The You Do tasks are also here for independent completion. Participants will need to seek mentor support for the We Do section during your mentor meetings before moving on to the You Do section. A breakdown of all the tasks are available in the programme handbook, which is available for you to browse after this session. Here is an example of one of the modules in our LMS training platform. There is a knowledge organiser to go with each module, so you can see at a glimpse the learning which your participants will have taken part in. These are great to use at the start of any optional mentor meetings to prompt participants to discuss and reflect on what they discovered in the session. The we do and the you do tasks are clearly outlined within each module on the training platform and also within the programme guide. We want to make it as simple as possible for busy mentors. Next, we will move on to the process of accessing the Aldar Training Academy training platform so you can best support participants in your schools. Once you've decided if any participants are going to take part in the programme, you can email us with a list of first name, last name, and email addresses. We can then take it from there and upload them to the programme. Alternatively, if you are a member of support staff, you can choose to purchase individual modules and complete them at your own pace. Once you have purchased the module, you will receive an email to support you in logging on to the platform. Once you log in, it will take you to your dashboard, which you can see on the screen. Any courses that you have purchased or been enrolled on will appear here. You simply click on the Watch button and it will take you to the module directly. Finally, we will consider the wider implementation of the latest guidance for teaching assistants. This programme is based on the latest guidance from the EEF titled Deployment of Teaching Assistants Guidance Report. You can see the 5 key recommendations listed. We will now look at each one in turn and detailed some things that you will need to consider based on the recommendations. This programme can be seen as a partnership. We provide the professional development and design the programme, so there are activities to embed each training module. But you, as a school, to maximise this, can potentially invest in this partnership and will have a part to play to truly enhance the practice of your support staff, which will in turn benefit the students and teachers too. Recommendation 1 focuses on how we deploy support staff so that all pupils can access high quality teaching. A key message here is that pupils who struggle the most should not be separated from the teacher. They need just as much access to expert teaching as every other child in the class, rather than being consistently placed in support groups with a TA. So this is a good moment to reflect on your current practice. Consider, which pupils or groups do your support staff work with most often? Does the class teacher regularly work with all groups of children? Do teachers and TAs have protected time to brief before lessons and debrief afterwards? These small structural decisions have a big impact on pupil outcomes. Within the STL programme, we explore this in depth through a range of modules. These focus on supporting the needs of all learners, building effective collaboration within group work, promoting independence rather than reliance, strengthening communication between TAs, teachers and wider stakeholders, clarifying the role of support staff in preparing pupils for learning. Together, these elements help ensure that support staff are not just supporting tasks, but effectively enhancing learning. Recommendation 2 focuses on deploying support staff to scaffold learning while developing pupil independence. The key idea here is that scaffolding should not become a permanent support. It needs to be carefully reduced over time so that pupils can take increasing ownership of their learning. So again, it is useful to pause and reflect on current practice. Consider, do your support staff have the resources they need to scaffold learning effectively in the moment? Do they have access to daily or weekly planning? Do they understand what is coming next in the curriculum and how learning builds over time? These factors are essential if scaffolding is going to be purposeful rather than reactive. Within the STL programme, we explore this through a range of modules. These focus on using the fading support model to scaffold learning effectively, developing pupil independence over time, applying different types of scaffolds, including verbal, visual, and written supports, particularly across core subjects. This ensures that support staff are not just helping pupils complete tasks, but are actively enabling them to become more independent learners. Recommendation 3 focuses on deploying support staff to deliver well-chosen, evidence-based, structured interventions where appropriate. The key message here is that interventions should be purposeful, carefully selected, and closely aligned to classroom learning. They should not replace high quality teaching, but instead complement and strengthen it. So it is important to reflect on your current approach. Consider which interventions are currently delivered in your school. Are these interventions evidence informed? Who is responsible for monitoring them and checking for fidelity and pupil progress? And do support staff understand what successful progress looks like within each intervention? Do your interventions build and connect to classroom practice? These questions help ensure that interventions are having a meaningful impact rather than becoming isolated activities. Within the ATA partnership, we explore this through a dedicated module on interventions. This covers what an intervention is and when it should be used, the different types of interventions support staff may deliver, what effective, structured, evidence-informed interventions look like in practice, the role and impact of pre-teaching, the role and impact of same-day catch-up and support. This supports schools to ensure that interventions are targeted, coherent, and truly effective in improving pupil outcomes. Recommendation 4 focuses on preparing and training staff to ensure effective TA deployment. The key message here is that impact does not come from simply having additional adults in the room. It comes from how well those adults are prepared, trained, and deployed. So it is important to reflect on your current systems and structures. Consider, do teachers have clarity on the role of support staff within their classroom? Are teachers familiar with different models of TA deployment, such as pull out and push in, flexible grouping, or mirror teaching? Do teachers and TAs have protected time to review data together so they understand who needs the most support to make progress? Without this shared understanding and planning time, deployment can become inconsistent and less effective. Within the ATA programme, we address this through a structured approach to professional development. This includes clarifying the role of support staff, ensuring staff are well prepared for their role, strengthening communication between TAs, teachers, and wider stakeholders, and our 10-module programme is designed to provide high-quality, research-informed professional development, ensuring that support staff are equipped to make a meaningful impact on pupil learning. And finally, recommendation 5 focuses on engaging all staff in the implementation of effective TA deployment. The key message here is that this is not something that sits with support staff alone. It requires, where possible, a whole school approach where everyone has a shared understanding of what effective deployment looks like and where good practice is actively shared. So it is important to think carefully about implementation. Consider, how will you ensure this programme is implemented effectively in your school? Do you have protected time to embed the learning from each module? Are teachers and leaders familiar with the programme structure and the modules support staff will be completing? How do your current school priorities align, and how can support staff strengthen these areas? Successful implementation depends on clarity, consistency, and collective ownership. Within the ATA programme, we support this through implementation training for mentors if they are being used, possible ongoing mentor support and guidance structured through We Do and You Do activities. These activities help to embed learning in practice. Evidence-informed training throughout, We also continuously adapt the programme based on your feedback, ensuring it remains relevant, practical, and impactful for your school context. As mentioned before, this programme can offer two pathways. The first pathway is with mentor support, which is highly advised. Alternatively, there is a second pathway without mentor support, which will still have an impact on your support staff. If you are choosing to complete this with the role of a mentor, we will now outline the partnership role here. So there should be shared accountability. Ensure as you as a mentor know that support staff are fully engaged in the programme and keep a record of attendance. You will need to follow up as a mentor, arrange and schedule the meetings with your support staff after each module to help embed the learning. Preparation. Just stay one step ahead of your support staff. Ensure you know what the We Do activity is, prepare for the brief meeting, and make sure that you've looked at the review of learning. And finally, reflection and goal setting. Facilitate conversations with support staff about the content. Make time to set goals so change in practice is seen. To summarise your orientation of the Supporting Teaching and Learning programme, a CPD offer designed specifically for support staff working in schools. This isn't a one-size-fits-all training day. It is over 20 hours of focused, evidence-informed, practical development built around the real challenges support staff face every day. To give you a sense of scale and quality of this programme, over 500 support staff across schools have already completed it. It is rated 4.7 out of 5 stars on average across all modules. That's exceptional for a CPD programme of this length and depth. And the areas the participants say have had the greatest impact: confidence, supporting students effectively, supporting teachers, understanding learner needs, and applying targeted strategies in the classroom. But don't just take the numbers at face value. Here's what mentors working with participants are saying. The largest impact has been clearly visible in daily practice. Support assistants demonstrate increased confidence in managing groups, greater awareness of how to scaffold learning, and a stronger ability to support instruction. Student engagement has improved and collaboration with homeroom teachers is stronger. This kind of feedback tells you this isn't just theoretical learning, it's translating directly into better practice. Day one, back in school. If you're a school leader, a SENCO, or someone responsible for professional development, this is an opportunity to give your support staff the tools, language, and confidence to genuinely make a difference in classrooms. If this sounds like something your school or trust could benefit from, I'd love to have a conversation. We would love to hear from you if you have any more questions that you need answering about the programme. Please get in contact with us on the email address that is visible on your screen, which is info@ata.ae. My name is Bethany Carrington. I am the Programme Coordinator. Please do get in contact. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you for attending today. Goodbye.